All right, here we are for round 3 against Loveboat. Oh man, playing his list, battling him, battling the master. He's probably playing his blue-red spells list. That should be a pretty decent matchup for us, but I'm actually not really sure. It's got a lot of counter spells in it. All right, I think his deck plays Accumulated Knowledge, but I'm not positive, so I'm actually going to hold these for a little while and just start with the Think Twice. They don't have anything that I really care about for 3 mana, so we'll probably counter this if he can. Yep. So this is a control mirror, mana's king. However, we already have a lot of lands. So I'm pretty okay with that getting countered. My guess is this is going to come down to time, and my guess is we are going to lose on time, because for one thing, he's a very fast player, and for two, our deck is way slower on the clicks, way slower. Still kind of in like high gear from that last round. So I'm just kind of playing rapid fire. Again, I don't really want to cast these until he plays some, if he has some. We'll see if he, I assume he's probably recognized his list by now, but he hasn't said anything in the chat. It's pretty smart if he wants to actually win. Just don't have time to actually chat. Deep analysis. So all they have for actual threats are Flurry of Horns. See if he plays one of those. Yeah, let's quick Accumulated Knowledge. Alright, we'll Accumulated Knowledge again. Okay. I'm just gonna fog. No need to they have haste, so no need to waste his time. I try not to waste my opponent's time if I can. It's not always possible. Sometimes you just have to. So I'm gonna pulse this Tranquil Thicket back while he's tapped low on blue mana. We'll play out the Thornwood Falls, pass the turn. Alright, deep analysis again. So we're in the unfortunate spot that if our opponent draws some accumulated knowledges, that's going to be a lot of cards for him. We're also in the unfortunate spot that we have 6 cards and no spells, so not off to a great start. We do have 2 spells in the graveyard with flashback, and we just drew our best spell. This is a tough spot. I don't really want to get this pieces countered. So I'm still gonna run it out there though. Okay. Yeah, we'll take 2 accumulated knowledges. That's a lot of cards. Just gonna play this forest, pass the turn. I don't care what he does into turn. Here he is. He's taking credit for his creation. I'm fine with that. Maybe I'll take credit for it. It's my own invention. I'm going to hold on to these accumulated knowledges for a little while longer. Discarding double Flame Slash. That card's pretty bad against us, and he should know. Alright, run out this Rampant Growth. See if he knows who's yeah, he has no idea. He's drunk apparently. We'll see see how he reacts to being on camera. If that's something he was worried about. Alright, so I'm not gonna cast one of these into his counterspell mana while he has to discard. I'm gonna wait at least one more turn. He's giving you guys some advice, so pay attention. Pay attention to him. I'll put a link in the description to the deck he's playing. It's another really cool deck. It took second place on our poll the first week and then dropped down a little bit in the second week. But this is probably the blue-red control deck I was gonna play if that won the poll. I love having no creatures. These are sort of creatures, but you know, not really. Not doing anything about that. So, just like against the burn deck last week, we don't really care about, not the burn deck. We're playing against the blue-red fairies deck last week. We didn't care at all about the lightning bolts, and you know, I don't care about them here either. I'm gonna Moment's Peace this turn, try to get some of these cards out of my hand. Alright, I'm not casting stuff when he has to discard, I just don't want to. We've got so many lands coming. I also don't want to make his remaining accumulated knowledges so good by casting ours, so I'm holding them for a little while longer. Alright, Moment's Peace again. I believe this deck only runs bolts that go to the face. I don't think it has anything else that can hit us in the face. Alright, I think I am gonna flashback think twice here. No. Whatever, it's faster just to trash the mana. Okay, we drew pieces of the puzzle. I need to draw a few more counter spells if I'm going to actually try to get this guy down. See if this is something he feels is worth countering. We'll get an Arcane Denial and a Preordain. Alright, we don't need that Thornwood Falls. We'll keep the Thought Scour. Thought Scour my opponent. Alright, just gonna discard a land here. We do have a ton of them, so it's fine. I do have nearly enough counterspells here that I can try to run out this Scrounger, but this deck I think runs Exclude and some other stuff. So one good thing about our deck is we make his pieces of the puzzle kind of bad. I really hope he plays this here. Yeah, so he thinks I shouldn't have picked up my Tranquil Thicket earlier with the Pulse, and he's probably right. It's going to be really hard for me to resolve this Scrounger. I'm going to accumulate knowledge here because I want to pick up one more counterspell before I go for this. Before I go for the Scrounger. Alright, so I only have two, and I didn't find the other... Pulse. I am still, I think, gonna run it out there. This is gonna be like some of the lowest he taps the whole game. Hopefully cast a couple excludes here. So Arcane Denial, the first one. So it's possible I'm going to have to accumulated knowledge to get this guy down. Nope, I didn't. So definitely going to put some stuff in right away. Actually, not yet. I'm going to do it on my end step. See if he wants to bolt it. Alright, he didn't yet. So I'm going to put in the 2 arcane denials and an accumulated knowledge. Alright, he must not have his bolt anymore. Or I must have used them all on my face. Alright, so this time it's a little more important that I draw the cards first, so that's what I'm doing. So another good thing about this right here is I can just, for one, I can just block these guys. See what he hit. What did he put in his hand? Accumulated knowledge. You can cast that all you want. He's down to 7 cards in his deck. He's got a boatload of fogs and stuff. I don't think he has any way to recycle the cards from his deck. Alright, Flame Slash. We'll put the Thought Scour back in. Another Arcane Denial and our other Pulse of Marasa. Or maybe I messed up and lost my other Pulse of Marasa. I should have really put that in on the first one. Probably gonna Electrostatic Bolt it. Yep. And I don't care about that very much at all. Alright, let's see what happens here. Yeah, he just concedes. Not enough cards. All right. So we can actually pull up his list here. Oh, I guess I can't without you guys, seeing all my stuff. Well, you guys probably know my email anyway at this point. So one thing you can do is you can look up players on MTG Goldfish. Sometimes I do this to get an exact reading on their list. So this is the list. This one is the list we're playing, and this is his list that he's been playing right here. So he does have a main deck Dispel, so that could have really gotten me last game, but it didn't. See what he's got. I'm sure he's got some 4 Pyroblasts and 2 Relics. This is gonna be a terrible matchup post board. So the Pyroblast can take out our curses if we play them, and the Relics really just make it almost impossible to win with Scrounger. If they just never crack these, it becomes very hard to win. And so the thing is, normally most people probably don't really know how to play against this deck. Unfortunately, when you're playing against the guy who made the deck, he knows how to play it. So we're bringing in all these. By all these I mean this negate. The fogs are really not that good here. I'm going to keep a couple moments pieces in, but they aren't very important at all. We're bringing this other pulse. Get back the Scrounger. Still have our Thought Scour. It's possible I should bring in these curses too. They could be pretty good. Give me some sweet ideas for the next time I play the list. He's much more of a brewer than I am. Way better at brewing than I am. And speaking of these Think Twices, they're some of our worst cards. I'm gonna take those out. Take out 2 of the Arcane Denials. I don't really want him to have get all those cards for free from us. And I better submit quick, so we'll just take out another Arcane Denial. I don't really like bringing in the curses against decks that have 4 Pyroblast. And apparently there's some other sorcery that I should try out, so you guys can take that to your brewing, your next brew session, and think about that. This deck does get threshold easily. Alright, we drew a Hydroblast. That's a great card in this matchup. So normally it's not that good against a deck like this because all of the threats are blue that matter. But against Lovebow's list, it's just Flurry of Horns. Flurry of Horns is how you kill them. And that's a red card, so we'll take that right out. I'm just going to preordain. Alright, these are both very important cards, so I'm going to keep both of them on top. So one thing to think about when you are playing in an accumulated knowledge mirror, whoever plays their accumulated knowledges first loses. So we're going to see if he puts some of them in the graveyard. He picked up a Deep Analysis and accumulated knowledge. So I really don't want to cast this now, so I won't. Cycle the Thicket. And we got the Pulse. Alright, you got rid of pieces. It's probably a good call. It's pretty risky to hold on to pieces of the puzzle against us. You can't cast too many of them. I mean, it just mills too many cards. Flurry of Horns, huh? Let's just negate that. I don't have very many actual counterspells in this deck, or that many fogs anymore. So I'm a little hesitant to let something like that resolve. Alright, I guess we can grab another accumulated knowledge and then negate, and then we can put the Moment's Peace in the graveyard. It seems pretty good. So like I said before, you don't want to be the person who has to cast the accumulated knowledge. Let's Hydroblast this one. It's got a Dispel, which is just fine with me. And I'm going to Hydroblast this one just because Negate's a little more flexible. Not a ton, but a little bit. So now I really don't want to put these accumulated knowledges in the graveyard because my opponent is running low on cards. He's down to 4. Explore and Arcane Denial. Okay. I'm not going to cast the Explorer here. See what he's got here. Deep Analysis. That's a strong card. A little unfortunate that we're just going to have to let that resolve probably. That was probably the best draw in his deck for him. Flashback, Deep Analysis, sure. So I'm definitely not casting these accumulated knowledges until I have a Scrounger to play, something like that. That was a pretty big mistake. I should have tapped that for mana because I am going to play this Explore now. That was stupid. That's a pretty bad play. You guys can chastise me because now I don't have enough mana to cast this Rampant Growth and hold up both of these. So flurry that. My guess is that we are going to have to let this resolve somehow, because unfortunately our opponent has more counterspells in their deck than we do. No? Oh my gosh. Relic. So there's the Relic. That's pretty obnoxious. He's pretty happy to resolve that. I'll still battle through it though. So what really stinks is if we had a Scrounger here, we would almost certainly win this game right now. But we don't have a Scrounger. We have instead nothing. I'm gonna toss out one pulse actually and grab our Tranquil Thicket. While he can't do anything about it. Alright. I don't quite remember if we have enough, if we still have 2 basics left. I think we have 1 for sure. Yep, just the 1. So our opponent's out of win condition, so if we can get him to draw a couple more cards than us, we can still win this game. There's only 1 Flurry of Horns left in the deck at all, so if we can counter that, we don't actually need to do anything with our Scrounger. Alright, I'm gonna cycle this. Okay. A Dispel. That'd have been nice on the Flurry of Horns turn earlier. Alright, let's start losing some of these lands. Not gonna cast a Preordain. Looks like he has to discard this turn, unless he just bolts us in the face, yeah. I'll get rid of 1 Hydroblast, we got 2 in there. So against a different opponent, I might try to do something like pulse back this Tranquil Thicket to induce him to use the relic, but I don't think he's going to use it. He's not going to fall for that. You can tell from the chat he knows that it's pretty much game over once he lands that. Alright, he dropped 1 accumulated knowledge. Don't care about that. Hopefully he casts a Deep Analysis. That would be awesome. Bolt me. Yep. I take 1. Okay, get rid of this Rampant Growth. Alright, this might be an important spell actually later. Deep Analysis himself. That's good for us. So now if we can resolve this Thought Scour, we're actually even on cards. Got a bunch of dead cards in my hand. Let's get rid of this Forest. We can get rid of this Kodama's Reach that doesn't get any lands. Alright. Let's just play that. Alright, Forest. I'm gonna get rid of lands until they're all gone, then I'm gonna get rid of pieces of the puzzle. He's discarding an accumulated knowledge. He knows that it's gonna die if he casts that spell. So he's got 1 Flurry of Horns that 1 Flurry of Horns that still matters, otherwise none of his spells matter. I think he still has a Deep Analysis in his graveyard, he does. I'm gonna discard my own accumulated knowledge. Fortunately, all my good counter spells are kind of leaving. Like, I've got these dispels, but they don't counter the spells that matter anymore. They would have mattered earlier, but not anymore. So I'm behind on time. It's possible I should just concede here, but you never know. I might be able to get him with this Thought Scour and kill him. So I don't want to concede too early. One problem with discarding those accumulated knowledges, though, is that now I don't have any way to draw some cards to get a counter spell for a Flurry of Horns if he plays one. All right, Deep Analysis is a good draw. Just gonna discard this Preordain. Double Relic, okay. Honestly, they don't matter very much anymore. I'm not going to be using my graveyard for much of anything. Could matter if he gets the Flurry of Horns early enough. Like if he has it right here or in the next turn or two, we could be in trouble then. Another accumulated knowledge that I don't want to cast. Now accumulated knowledge is like a draw 6, so get rid of one Arcane Denial. Accumulated knowledge. Alright, another Moment's Peace. I'll exile one Moment's Peace, and then I think I'm gonna get rid of this this Pulse. I could just jam this guy, but I'm gonna wait until I have just the maximum stuff possible. However, this is the last turn that I'll have. This is the last turn that I'll still have Threshold when I play him. See what he's playing. Alright, he's Deep Analysis targeting me. I am going to let him do that. Alright, we drew some great cards. This might be the time to go for it. I've got a ton of cards in my hand and a lot of land. So Scrounger. Something you could do is just pop right now, and then we definitely won't have it for a little while, but we actually will have Threshold before this game is over. Alright, first we dispel this. I think he has all of his Pyroblasts left, so that we'll have some targets for these Hydroblasts. Wouldn't surprise me if there were 8, 9, or 10 spells on the stack at the end of this. What's he targeting with this Dispel? Okay, so that's important. He's targeting our Hydroblast, which means we can let the Dispel resolve, and then we can just Hydroblast the Pyroblast again. If he had dispelled our Dispel, then we wouldn't have been able to make this play. Alright, let's dispel this. Alright, let's scour you. See what he's got left in his hand. He's got 2 cards left only. Alright, we didn't draw anything that mattered. So he did get to counter our Scrounger, which is pretty unfortunate. But we do have these 2 Deep Analyses. So this is 8 cards. I'm not going to go for it for a little while. We can also force him to pop one of these at some point to draw another card. Let's get rid of the Hydroblast, because we can pulse that back and he'll have to, otherwise he'll die to it. Alright, that's a great draw. It would have been nice to draw that off of our Thought Scour instead of a land. Let's get rid of a Hydroblast, then we'll get rid of a Moment's Peace, I think. No, I'll get rid of an Accumulated Knowledge. Alright. So, we're going to force him to draw a card here. Oh, he let it happen. Okay. I'm going to cast it. And then he's going to use his relic. Which is just fine by me. So we do have a lethal number of deep analyses on him if he has no counter spells left, but I believe he's still got 2 Pyroblasts left. So 1, 2, 3 Flurry of Horns. So he's got still has two Pyroblasts. And the problem with deep analysis is they are going to draw him. So I think I still have 1 pulse left, so he can still kill this guy, but... Alright, here we go. Attack. See how many deep analyses he has gone. So he's got 2 gone. Let's see how many runs. He's got 2 in this list, so we might be safe here from deep analysis, at the very least. And it looks like we're only going to have to resolve 2 of them anyways. Piece of the puzzle not very good here. In fact, probably just like the worst possible draw. He's discarding. He's yeah, we both got pieces of the puzzle that we sure don't need. We're gonna be just a little short on lethal. So he's down to 4 cards. I want to draw our last one. Alright, well, attacking doesn't matter. So let's go for it. See if we can do it. Deep Analysis U. Normally I would go and count, but count in his deck list and stuff, but honestly, it just doesn't matter. One thing that drives me nuts about the Magic Online client, you cannot see how many cards you have in your deck when someone is targeting you with a spell like Deep Analysis. That is insane. So I think we might have just enough here, because he's going to have this Pyroblast. He's got 1 more Pyroblast. Ooh, that was a mistake. No, I guess it didn't matter. I was thinking we could maybe get up to Threshold, but we definitely can't. We are pretty darn close to getting up to Threshold, though. If I left that in there, we would have had 5. I could have put this I could have put pieces back in there for 6, but we wouldn't have been able to get any of these other things in there. So if he's got 1 more counterspell, we lose. Close one, we got him. That was a pretty cool match. We officially are 3-0, so got our treasure chest. Let's see if we can finish off the 4-1 or a 5-0.